anybody can start a project, but a professional will end a project on the time that they say that they're going to.
Let's face it, most of your customers are ignorant when it comes to the number of decisions required to begin a project. But that doesn't stop them from asking, when can you start? In this video, I discuss how to answer your clients when they ask the schedule question and why you never want to answer the start question before you have all the details. Starting doesn't matter nearly as much as finishing the project. Check out this video and learn how to gracefully answer the when can you start question and set yourself up for success.
Question comes up, well, when can you start? Then I say, well, when do you want the project to start? Kind of like asking the budget question. Like, I want them to tell me a date, and if it's unrealistic, I'll just tell them it's unrealistic. But then I'm gonna kind of reverse engineer why that date is probably unrealistic. And just like the budget, where your customers really don't have any idea of what the budget is, they probably also don't have any idea of how long it takes not only to build a project, but how long it takes to plan the project as well. This gets into, depending on what you do and as you specialize in it, it was a minimum for the kitchen projects that we used to do, 12 weeks, period. And so we would say, oh, typically it takes 12 weeks and here's why, and it's going to start out fast and the demo is going to go quick. And then the further we get into the project, it's going to seem like it gets slower, but that's because as we get into the finishes, things just slow down. We don't have multiple trades there necessarily. It seems a lot slower, but over a 12-week process, that's about how long this is going to take. So if we project out and we say, you want to be complete at this date, let's back that up 12 weeks. That's when we're going to start. That's the first, let's say the first day of construction. Now we have a mobilization period of 2 weeks. That means we're ordering materials, we're getting all that stuff together in the shop, and we're getting ready to mobilize to your site. We're going to have the dumpster dropped off, we'll have the porta-john, we'll have some materials delivered, and all these things before we start construction. So that's a 2-week time period. So now we're looking at 14 weeks. And our pre-construction process to design a kitchen, we can do it because we're professionals. We could probably do it in 3 days if we made all the decisions, but we're not making all the decisions. You're making about 1,000 decisions. And that process in general, if you're really, really good at it, working with us, then we can probably get it done in 2 weeks. So we got 12 weeks of construction, 2 weeks of mobilization, and 2 weeks of planning. Now, it's been our experience that you have a job, and then this is me talking to the customer. You have a job and you're busy and you can't drop everything you're doing and go with us down to Ferguson's and pick out your fixtures and then run over to the tile store and pick out your tile and then come and do all of these 1,000 decisions that you have to make. So we better plan this for a 4-week planning process. So now we got 12 weeks, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. Am I up to 18 weeks? Something like that. You get to the point where most of your customers, if you reverse engineer that schedule saying, okay, in order to meet whatever time frame you think that you need to be in, that's 18 weeks if we started today, if we had a contract today. We never put anybody on the schedule until money changes hands. So if you want to get on our schedule and meet out the next, that next date that's 18 weeks out, let's get started today. And when they say, oh, well, okay, well, let me think about it. Great, no problem. Go think about it. They come back next week. Guess what happens to the schedule? It just got moved out a week. Like, I'm not going to change our process because you're not ready to buy. And sometimes when you lay it out and you reverse engineer from the date that they always say, and that date is always sooner than they think, then it's a way to get them to act quickly and buy now. I don't care when you want to start a project. What I want to know is, when do you want it to be done? Because anybody can start a project, but a professional will end a project on the time that they say that they're going to. So they're going to ask you about the start. Just ask them, when do they want to be finished? Make sure that you tell your clients, we don't schedule any work until we have a signed contract and money changes hands.